He's one of the most popular sports personalities in the country. He always tells it like it is. His new book is called Straight Shooter, a memoir of second chances and first takes. Please welcome Stephen A. Smith. So the finals are coming up. What's your thoughts about it?
It's going to be tough. I think that when you look at the NBA, it's one of the more exciting seasons we've had because in the Eastern Conference, obviously, Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia stand out above the crowd, but you can't ignore New York and Cleveland. Right. In the West, it is wide open. Denver, you don't know how people are going to react in that altitude. You look at Phoenix, they now got Kevin Durant, who I believe, when healthy, is the best in the world.
He is.
And Devin Booker's no joke either. You've got to pay attention to that. Ja Morant and Memphis, can't ignore them. They've had some injuries and stuff like that, but they'll be all right. And to be quite honest with you, it's like they might bore people sometimes, and you might get upset because daggone it, they healthy one day, they injured the next with the Clippers. But when the Clippers are healthy, the Clippers are a team to be reckoned with. Kawhi Leonard is that dude. When he's on the court and healthy, he's that dude. And Paul George is no slouch. And I consider Ty Lue to be one of the best in the business. And you don't count out King James.
Come on.
You don't count out King James.
He said what he said.
You don't count out King James. Not at all. Especially this season, because it's so wide open. Remember, most of them are learning how to win. Of course, Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors know how to win. Kawhi Leonard knows how to win. You get that. Kevin Durant's a champion, two-time NBA Finals MVP, knows how to win. But pretty much when you look at every team, there's no one that you can definitively say can't be beat. No one. This is not Jordan in the 90s. There's none of that going on right now.
Speaking of Jordan, I'm from Chicago. So, do you know him?
I know Jordan
very well.
Yeah, he and I just spoke the other day.
Oh, wow, it's like that.
That's my man. I love him to death. We wouldn't be, I mean, listen, I'm just a journalist and a personality and commentator and all of that stuff. We would not be, people like myself would not be where we are if it were not for Michael Jordan. It's like what he's done for the game of basketball. And let me throw two other names in there, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. They're the reasons. When you look at where the NBA once was, if it were not for Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan specifically, there would not have been a LeBron James. Not to this level. As a basketball player, sure. But to be the guy, the iconic figure that he is, the global figure that he is, the businessman that he is, those two dudes stand out as guys that paved the way for all of us.
You also knew Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I did.
Rest his soul.
Yeah.
What did you love most about him?
Kobe Bryant.
Thank you.
Kobe Bryant might be the most brilliant athlete I've ever seen in my life. His level of intellect was just off the charts. He spoke 3 different languages fluently, English, Spanish, and Italian. I believe he was trying to master Mandarin and German. I think he might have I never heard him speak it to me, but he was talking about doing it. Knowing him, he probably did it. 5-time champion, league MVP, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest ever. But his level of focus and determination, I remember when I had my show, quite frankly, on ESPN2 in 2005, and, I was feeling all hyped about myself, and I was like, man, they talking about I got a chance to be the next Oprah. And he looked at me and he said, forget Oprah, Harpo. Harpo. He said, you do her, and he told me this in 2005, you do her a disservice when you just think of her as Oprah, because she's so much more than that. This is what she brings to the table. She's a businesswoman, she's an entrepreneur, she's a producer, she's a boss, not just a talent. Remember that, and I never forgot that. And then, years later, obviously 15 years later, 2020, he and I saw each other about 3 weeks before he passed away when we were both partying in Hollywood for New Year's Eve. And it was the happiest I had ever seen him. It was the first time in all the years that I've known him, and I had known him since 1996, and it was the first time that I ever saw him where he was feeling no pressure. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna accomplish this, I'm gonna move forward and strive to do this in the future, but everything I set out to do, I did. And he was such at peace, and his wife was just his wonderful wife, Vanessa, was just a few feet away when he was talking to me, and he was I'd never seen him that happy, that at peace. And that's why it just hit me so hard when he ultimately passed away.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Congrats on your book, Straight Shooter, New York Times bestseller.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you dedicated it to your mom.
Absolutely. I mean, my mother was a straight shooter. She was no nonsense. She didn't play any games. She passed away in 2017, God rest her soul, and she was the most wonderful woman I've ever known. You know, she's, I was one of those unorthodox mama's boys. Like, from the standpoint of the older I got, the smarter she was, but it took me being hard-headed and making mistakes to realize how brilliant she was. But I often say to people that, you know, for the first 45 years of my life, she passed away when I was 49. For the first 45 years of my life, I heard her tell me she loved me maybe 5 times. But I knew it every day. Every day. And that was her way. She was West Indian descent, St. Thomas Virgin Islands. She would be like, I don't have to tell you. You know, you'll know how I treat you. You know, and I'm like, I got it. And I always knew. I always knew. So she was always straight up, and she always held me accountable. But she was always my biggest cheerleader, my biggest fan. And she was the one that always she would start every day, make me proud. Wow. That's what she would always say.
A mother's love, and I'm sure you've made her nothing but proud.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, talk to us about your podcast, No Mercy. Tell everyone what it's about.
Well, to me, I've been doing sports my entire career, and I've got a podcast, No Mercy, and it was very, very important to me because I own it, I operate it, it's my masters, my IP, it's all of that. I wanted to step out and show the kind of courage and the bravery that I needed to have in terms of betting on myself. And although that I'm surrounded and engulfed by sports pretty much every day of my adult life because it's the profession that I'm in, I never want to leave sports, but I don't want to be limited by it either. There's political issues to get into. There's social justice issues to tackle. There's things in pop culture and entertainment. There's a lot of different things. And I wanted to have a platform and an outlet to really go about the business of showing people you can have a conversation with me about anything. We can have a conversation with each other about anything. Yeah, you'll get your sports, and I'll never deviate from that at all. But that is not all I am. That is not all I intend to be. I'm 55. I'm not 95. I got a long life ahead of me, and I got a lot of things that I want to say and a lot of things that I want to speak on. And so, through the grace of God, I'll be able to pull it off. So far, so good. It's been pretty successful thus far.
You're so impactful, so.
I try to be.
We know it'll be successful. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe to the Jennifer Hudson Show YouTube channel. Check your local listings or visit jenniferhudsonshow.com to see when you can watch full episodes in your area. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter.